Okay. Hello, everyone. If you are joining us, this is the third week of our series uh, workshop on how to build a room in the VCSA using the Mozilla Hubs. So just as a recap of what we did last week, first, before we go into this week, we talked about the goal of the workshop, which is to assist you, the attendees, in building your own room in the Mozilla Hubs, capturing the basics of our existing Virtual Citizen Science Expo, the two types of rooms that we have, giving you inspiration to tie into that to build your own room. And at the end of the exercise, we believe you must have the basic skills of how to use Spoke, Sketchfab, and also be able to integrate your models into the Mozilla Hubs. So last week we learned about some basic building skills in Spoke. We opened the Spoke window. We went through most of the tabs. And the first thing we uploaded some already created Spoke templates, which we downloaded on our PC, then uploaded those into Spoke. And then we went into how to upload images into Spoke. And once the images are in Spoke, we did the transformation on them, how to make them bigger, to scale, which is scaling, then how to rotate them, we did that, and how to actually move them around in the space. So as well as last week, we did the introduction to 3D models, which we will actually go in depth today. And I will invite our able facilitator, Clement Abai, to help us in taking that. Okay.
Yes, so thank you, Ayo. So we will, today's session, we will be, as Ayo said, we will be adding 3D elements and look at some of the advanced features. And then we will go into Spoke and use the feature, the Spoke feature for adding 3D models through Sketchfab, and then how to orient those 3D elements in that space. And then we'll end up publishing the scene to Mozilla Hub. So which means that once you publish the Mozilla Hub, your virtual space is now available and becomes online. So with that, we will also look at some of the advanced features of Spoke, such as how to add audios, videos, and media frames within that space. And then we will go ahead and dive right into the activity of adding the 3D elements into that space. So okay. I will go ahead and stop the sharing, and I will share my screen. All right, let me see. You don't mind? I need screen sharing. Okay, thank you. Let me see, back at Explorer Room. So if you remember well, last week, we were in the lift room. So here's the Spoke, and this is the lift room. And we will dive straight into how to add models or 3D models into the space. So the quickest way to add a model is use the Sketchfab feature. So on the left, on the asset menu, if you look where it says elements, and if you scroll down, it will say Sketchfab. If you click on the Sketchfab, it will load some of the 3D elements that you can integrate into the space or add to your space. And you can even search for 3D elements within the spoke feature. So let's go ahead and search something very basic. So I'm just going to say leaf, since I'm in the leaf room. And here you go. So there's a couple of options here. You can scroll up and down and see the different options that you can select from. I'm just going to go ahead and click a single leaf room. So I'm going to click on that. And once you click that, you will see it's going to add into the space on here. Let me see. It's not coming up the way it wants. I was hoping that it will come up. Let me try one more time. Let me delete that. Drag it here and see what happens. Same thing, so it's not working on that one. Let me try another leaf. So you can, if that doesn't work, just kind of try a different leaf. So I'm gonna try another leaf here, see if that one works. Okay, it's not loading those leaves, so that's not what I was expecting. Let me try a different one here. My apologies for that. Let me try something very basic. Let me try something. Let me try this. Okay, it is not loading as I had anticipated. So let me delete that real quick. So there's a couple of workarounds for that. Right now, it's not loading as I was expecting. So what the workaround that is, you can go to the Sketchfab website itself and collect or choose a model that you can add through on your space as well. So I'm going to go ahead and try that. Let me see, there's a model on the element section. There's some different elements that you can choose from. So I'll go ahead and choose the element that says model. So you can double click or you can drag to the space. I'm just going to go ahead and double click. Let's see over here. Nope. Okay, so there we go. So if you use that method or that way of adding 3D models, you will see that by default, it will show you a rubber duck or a model of a duck. So I'm just going to scale it up real quick. So remember what the different transformation tools that we learned about. So you want to click on the scale and then click on or hover over the cube and then right click and drag. And then you will increase the size of the model. So at least you know that you're doing the right thing here, and then you can move it around. So just kind of use the transform tool and move it to where you need to. Now with that in place, we can go to the sketchfab.com, and I already opened a tab on there on the website. So I'm going to click on the tab. And in the search area, you want to see, you want to search whatever model that you want to add. And again, in the case, I already search for leaf. And then you want to make sure you select the downloadable option. So in that way, it's free to download and it's available. Otherwise, if it's not downloadable, it won't be able to load to your space. So let's see if we can use the same leaf that we tried to download earlier. So you can see on the Sketchfab account, you can rotate the image, you can move it around. But for now, for this purpose, we're gonna open this model up. And then wait for it to load. So there you go. And then the trick over here is you can click the, you can use the URL here and try to load it. Usually it will work. If it doesn't work, then we have, there's another way work around that I'll show you as well. So we're just gonna go ahead and copy the URL. And then we're going to go back to our working space. And remember, in the first week or the second week, I mentioned that once you edit that model element in the properties section, you can replace the URL with the model or the image, whichever one. Once you replace that, it will replace whatever model element that you have in that space. So I'm going to go ahead and replace on the property panel on your right hand side. You will see, as you scroll down, you will see the model URL on the model tab. We will go ahead and replace that. So we click that, and then we enter the URL here. So let's see if that will replace. Otherwise, like as I mentioned earlier, there's a workaround that we will go into the HTML and pull the URL out from there. So let's see if it's going to replace it. So right now you can see it's working, trying to pull the model from Sketchfab in. And let me use the properties section to scale it up. So I'm just going to say 1 on the scale. And there you are. You'll notice that the leaf successfully got loaded into your space. And you can scale it however you want. So you can either use the scale property on the panel, or you can use the arrows, the transformation tools, the scale transformation tool here. So let's see if we can scale it down. And scale it to however you want. You can even rotate it. So let's say 90 degrees. So you can see I said 90 degrees and it went under the floor. So we don't want that. So let's place it at maybe 45. And we can drag it up away from the floor, up again into this space. There we go. So that's how you get your models from sketchfab.com into your the spoke space that you work with.
I love that you had to troubleshoot to show us, so thank you.
You're welcome.
There's multiple ways to do things.
Yes, there's multiple ways. If it doesn't work through the built-in Sketchfab, you can still get it to work by going to choosing the model element and replacing the URL. So more like as we started off, it's more like a plug and play. If the model's already in the space, you can just replace the URL with the elements, the 3D elements that you like.
I've been promising everyone it's so easy, and you guys put together a how-to sheet for them. But also, would you say, Clement, you can Google to troubleshoot these kinds of things, or does Mozilla Hubs have additional help or support?
Yes, Mozilla Hub has very basic support, and it's very specific to Spoke itself. But what I just showed you here is what I learned as I was going through.
Yeah, and the 3D models look really cool, I think, when you have the goggles on and you're in the space, as addition to sort of using your mobile phone or your laptop. So it's cool that there's a bunch of free options there.
Yeah, so and once you have the VR goggles on, you are basically immersified in that space, and you can walk through it and go really close to the leaf and be able to see the different sections of the leaf, the veins, the petal, and all that stuff. So
I know we were sort of talking about accessibility here, because the goal of the Citizen Science Expo and Backyard Explorers is to get people outside. But if you can't go outside, or you want to see up close what they're talking about in the episode, you can do that in a virtual world. So all of the insects or all of the leaves that we're talking about at the Backyard Explorers is in there. And so
yes, and that's the fun part about it is once you are in that space, you can really go real close and personal with the insect, the leaves, and even learn about it before you get outside, because once you get outside, you already have the knowledge of different types of leaves, the insects, and once you get out, I mean, you can easily notice, once you notice those in the real setting, those bugs or the leaves in that environment, you already know what to expect. So some of the advanced features that you can play around with that I encourage is you can play around with the lighting system. So the directional lighting system here on the elements, different elements, you can try that as well. If you play the directional lighting, and the lighting gives you, for example, if you look all the way back to, and I'm going to kind of try to jump in. So you can see like the lighting system, how you place the light also will reflect some of the lighting in that space. And for example, here you can see like the shadow of the roof. So these are some of the advanced features if you want to play around with the lighting system and the directional lighting. The grouping elements, that's for if you're grouping different elements together, and in case of moving in within that space, you can drag and move all the different elements together. Then of course there's the spawning points where you want to be placing where you expect or you hope for when users enter the space, you can place those spawning points in different areas in the room where the users will appear into the space. And of course, we mentioned about waypoint. You can place those in that space, especially if you have multiple rooms in a bigger space. The waypoint is a good way to place within your space to move around. It helps if you feel dizzy in the space. The waypoint is almost like a teleport, or it jumps you from one point to another within a bigger space. So it's a nice way to move around in the space as well. And then you can add videos and audios in the space. I will go ahead and see if I can put a video in here, for example. And that's another feature that you can add in here.
What I think we've discovered with the video too that's really interesting is you can't always control when people are in the space. So the video introduction from Heath gives you a sense of what's in the room and what you should be doing in the room, and creates a little bit of social connection, even if we're not in there facilitating.
Yes, and thank you, Dr. Nicole. And the video, I will scroll, I will kind of back off into the front section of the room, and you will see the video that we placed in the room. So you can see, like, sometimes you will back out and then it brings you all the way out. Don't get nervous. There's a way to get around it. So if you look to the hierarchy menu to the right, you can see there's a video here. If you click on that, it will bring you in. So it's very important also to name your files here. So in that way, for instance, if you kind of navigate out and you're completely out and like this, and you don't know how to get in to the specific element, you can just click on it and it will bring you right to the element. So as Dr. Colson mentioned, this is Kit Stanfield and his introduction video about the room and what you expect in the room. So it's a very brief video, but it tells you about the room, what to expect, and it gives you the introduction about the leaf log. I mean the logbook challenge that you can fill out and learn about differently before you go to the park. And there's a park information in the space as well that you can go to this park. And the local park, for example, here it's a McAllister park in, there's a local park called the Cedric Park in McAllister, Oklahoma. So you can use those parks to go with your logbook and fill out your logbook and then take it to the library. So these are some of the video tool or the video element is a good way of integrating into this space to introduce the space and talk about different things to expect in the space. So with the video, I highly recommend uploading to YouTube. So you can see on the video property, I pull out the video from YouTube that the library has shared and then placed it in here into the video video fill, the menu here. And then it pulls it automatically similar to the leaf and the 3D models. You just change the URL and it loads it into the space itself. So these are some of the advanced features. So feel free to play around with it as you build your own room. One of the features that I really enjoy or like as well is the media frame feature or the media frame element. What it does is you can place the media frame element into this space. And if you know for sure that you have an instruction or something that you like to rotate every time, the media frame is a good way of replacing or rotating instructions. So once you place it in there and you finalize everything and put it into Mozilla Hub, the frame stays there without showing, but you can actually go, if you have something to display or place in there, you can just snap it into place while you're in there. So it's a really nice way of rotating videos or instructional materials that you like to show in the space. Any questions so far? I think these are the basic elements that I would like for you guys to play with. Okay. So let me see over here. We already covered the Bing images, video images. You can get sound packs. So of course the Hub sound pack, you can add a sound pack in there. Videos, we covered that. Bing. And then the GIFs, those are fun as well if you want to play with that and put it in the space. So I do encourage you guys, when you're building a room, just be creative, but know what your objective is for the room. So as you build it, make it fun, make sure it's engaging. And I think, yeah, once you get comfortable with Spoke, I believe that what we've done so far will help you build your own room. So thank you.
Okay, there's one aspect we can briefly talk about, which is publishing the Spoke to the Hubs.
Yes, so that will be the final step. So if you don't have any questions, we will go ahead and publish your room and make it available to everyone to see. So if you don't have any questions, I will go ahead and publish your scene to your Mozilla Hub account. So,
and when you publish it, that makes it available to other people. So you get a link that you can share so people can come in and out of the room.
Yes. So once you publish it, it becomes available. You can share it with your friends, your colleagues, your classmates, and show what you have done. So they can get in and you guys can walk within the space and they can see what you built.
Right, and of course they can build their own space with its own link, but we'd love for anybody sitting in on the session to add their rooms to the existing virtual Citizen Science Expo. You know, people can come and visit your room and then go out and see the other projects and Backyard Explorers rooms. So we've been looking at the insect room today too, and I would just point out, you know, a lot of citizen science educators or programs have education materials, and so the template you gave us for the Blue Thumb room is a good model of how the room could be tailored to your own education tools. You know, they have wonderful videos about aquatic life in streams and a 3D fish, as well as information on social media and access to online games and volunteer maps. And so it really is a fun exposition of the program's already existing materials. When we were building, we built banners. Could you just say a little bit about building banners in Canva or signage? Do you have any recommendations there?
Yeah, so the banners and some of the signage, or most of the signage that we built where we used Canva. So I believe Canva has a free, you can create a free account and you can go in there and create different banners. You can design your own banners, even create directional arrows in there, and then place it into that space. So those things are very important within that space, especially if you have a big room to work with. So remember, as you design your own space, especially the scene that you choose, Canva is one of the tools that we've used to design the banners and the signage, the different directional arrows. We use that to build, create those images, and then from there, similar to how you import images, you can import those signage or the banners in, and then place them accordingly to wherever in the space that you want them to be placed. So,
yep. And I know when you built the virtual Citizen Science Expo hall for us, the landing point when you enter the hall also has instructions for how to move around, because we found that well, not for kids, but maybe older people, just getting acquainted in the scene is right. And so that's another consideration, you know, information on what they're supposed to be doing and to guide them through the virtual space, but, you know, also some help information to get oriented when they're in there.
Yeah, so it's very important. Yeah, when you, for the landing spot, as you land within the space, especially for the virtual citizen science expo, since it's an open space and have multiple areas, some of the things that you really have to consider is when you have your users enter the space, then the first thing I would recommend is for you to place something, for example, the navigation menu or some sort of navigation where they can really see and know, okay, I need to use my keyboard, I need to use my arrow keys or the navigation keys to move forward or how move backward or within the space. So those are very important as you design your room. So thank you, Dr.
And there's fun things like you can fly.
Yes. So
yeah.
those you can fly. There's with your computer or with your mouse, you can, I believe it's a left click for you to fly or move quickly from one place to another. With the VR goggle I believe you have that joystick that comes with it, so you can use that, and it's fun. With VR goggle, you literally fly because you're actually in that space flying. So this is some of the fun, cool things about that space, and when you're building and continuing your design elements. So
it has been fun, and thank you for showing us all this stuff. I would say to everybody that's watching, we're putting the videos and the how-to guide on the webpage at spottyrain.org underneath the Citizen Science Expo events for the month of April. So.
All right, well, I think that's it for me. So thank you so much, everybody, for your time and attending our session number 3. So we look forward to our last session, that's next week, Friday. And I'll let Ayo tell us what we will be doing next week, Friday. So I will stop my screen sharing right for now.
All right. Thank you, Clement, for a very impactful session. So for next time, we are going into the Hubs, yeah, and you can experience how what we put together in Spoke can be shared with others. And even from Hubs, you can still find a way of doing some minor adjustment to your rooms. So next session, we also open it for a general Q&A. Ask us questions, ideas about your rooms, your instruction materials you want to incorporate, your presentations, anything you are not clear about, we are ready to help you in that regard. So also we share the materials, the basic instruction material you need to, you know, understand how to build your room with you. And all the video recordings, as Dr. Kosian said, are available on spottyrain.org website, and you can as well use all those resources. So on behalf of the Spotty Rain team, campaign team, I want to say thank you for showing up today and going through this with us. Thank you so much. Okay. Yeah, bye. Okay. You can stop your recording.